Hello everyone. Here we are again. I've decided to draw and paint a cow this time. I've used graph paper to draw the cow and then trace it onto the watercolor paper. I've decided to do it this way to save time and to get a more accurate rendition of the animal itself. It only takes a few minutes to do, but once the image is traced down the way it goes, we can carry on painting it and make a start with the rest of the painting. So it's just a matter of getting all the features and everything in quickly, and then I don't have to worry about trying to get the proportions right, as the proportions are already correct. So I've got the cow's tail in there and all the other features. So there's the outline ready to go, ready to paint. And so you'll see I put white paint down because the colour of the paper is cream, and I want the white to show up. most of the white down, and it's a brown and white cow, and I want both the colours to show up separately so that they give a very good contrast. Now, this is my own procedure to do it, but it doesn't mean to say that everyone else has to do it the same way. So I happen to do it this way, to put in the brown second so that I can now see the outline developing. It's quite a nice colour, brown, and it looks quite good on the cow. I think cows are beautiful animals. Their nature and everything like that and their friendliness and just the way they are. So I just endeavour to put the brown colour down where I see it, and to give the cow some character. It's sort of like a burnt sienna colour. And I think this colour matches the character of the cow itself. I'm working on about a 5x8 Canson watercolour paper. So it's not a very big sheet of paper, but I recently bought an A4 pad, which I'm going to try out, because I think the smaller format has its restrictions. a few more details, the feet, or the hooves should I say, and the tail. So things are coming along. And give them a mouth as well. Because I come from a background of oils and acrylics, I tend to paint in a similar way with watercolor. So some of my pictures have been more transparent or translucent, and some of them have been, like this one, more opaque, sort of laying on the colour and giving it more definition, I suppose you could say. And it's the way I've been used to for, a number of years. So, in a way, I suppose it's a matter of adapting more to the translucent aspect of watercolours. But when I first started out watercolours many years ago, I found that my watercolours were very, very light, and I didn't allow for them lightening up when you put the pigment on. But now I'm making sure that I've got enough pigment to make sure that they don't fade away. So he's got his mouth open there, and he's looking up. He's got his head slightly tilted upwards, mooing. The dog's making a noise again. He wants to be part of the video. He never gives up. He'll be a lot happier today because it's about 10 degrees less today than it was yesterday. It was 30 yesterday, 30 degrees in the southern atmosphere, and the southern the southern area of the world, down under, you might say. So today we're about 20 or just over 20, so it's much more relaxing, and I can tell you much more pleasant. So the cow's well advanced now. He's starting to take shape. His colours are moving along. So what I'm going to do now is to build up a background where he can stand there and have a background instead of just being a white and brown cow, so that he'll stand out against something. So it's just a matter of touching up the sky area there, putting in the sky. It needed a bit of colour to give it a lift away from just being brown and white. That blue is a beautiful blue. It seems to make a huge difference. I'm using a small brush for the background there. Probably needed a bigger brush, but there's not much blue to go in there, so I'll just keep using that blue brush in the meantime, that smaller brush. So just to get the shape of his head right. So now he's starting to show nicely against the green in a natural environment colour. I thought I'd change that green to a more natural green. That other green was a bit bluish. That green is more like sap green. It looks a bit more natural. So he's just standing out in the field there by himself. Probably waiting for one of his friends to come along, give him a bit of company. It doesn't take long to get the greens going, even if they're a wee bit different looking. The grass isn't consistent. it can be different coloured greens. That's got a little bit of saturation, that left side, but that's okay. It's all looking good. So I'm just putting a bit of the light grass now in the background, in the foreground, trying to lighten all that up, touching up parts that I missed earlier. It certainly makes a difference having an area that of colour that surrounds them, rather than sitting on a blank white sheet of paper. As I said earlier, the colour that I'm using is a white acrylic, which is okay, but I've already ordered some gouache to do the same thing, as it's a very good opaque medium. So I've ordered some white gouache for the highlights, and things like that. But certainly the acrylic does a good job, which I'm quite pleased with on this occasion. So just touching up the trees there in the background, giving them a bit more life with a lighter colour. So of course just a matter of touching up a shadow underneath the cow. So it's a matter of doing the final touches of this friendly cow. Touching up his nose and the mouth area. And defining the ear a little bit too. So I hope that you got something from this video, and it would be nice if you could subscribe and like and comment. That would be marvellous if you could do that. It doesn't cost anything, so that would be good. Cheerio. Bye-bye.